On the day of the stroke, what were your first thoughts when you were diagnosed as having had a stroke?
I did not know that I had had a stroke. I remember going to the emergency room, being taken over to a CAT scan, having a CAT scan done. Nothing was unusual about it because I was, behaving like everybody else would behave, I guess. And then they took me back into the emergency room, and my doctor was there, and he said, he talked with the other people that were there and reading the scan, and they said it doesn't appear that she's gone through anything, which I was one of those people that never thought about a stroke or whatever. So I didn't realize that it would probably take a few hours for that to start showing up on the prints or whatever. So I was there. I was talking to a lady there in the room who was one of the mothers of one of my students at the time. And she was like, "Oh, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, don't know what's going on." And I asked her if I could go to the bathroom. And she said, "Why don't we give you a catheter first?" And I was like, "Okay, whatever that is or whatever." And I remember saying, "I really feel tired. I think I'm just going to go to sleep." And everybody was like, "Fine, go to sleep." And when I woke up the next morning, I was in the ICU, and they were calling my husband from Shands. My husband had been in touch with my sister and her husband, who were at Shands Hospital, the teaching hospital there. And they decided that they were going to fly me up there. So we were waiting for the plane to land, and then I was going to be taken out. But I realized at that point in time, though, I couldn't talk to my husband. And my entire right side of my body was completely paralyzed. I mean, I could feel if somebody touched me, but I couldn't lift my arm up. I couldn't lift my leg up. Nobody had told me at that time that I had had a stroke.